guys, it's Kelly. I am back with another layout. This process video is for stuck sketches, and I am going to be using my scraps. I had seen on Facebook someone had mentioned about how they wanted to see more process videos of people digging in their stash, using scraps, using older supplies. Well, this is one. I am pulling out some papers. They're different papers from Studio Calico, crepe paper, and papers that I have no idea where they're from. And I'm just going to pull together some strips. So I want to apologize now. Some of my footage got messed up, and you miss me just trimming down the strips that I end up choosing. I did take the strips and I went to my sewing machine and I used silver metallic thread, and I stitched a couple of straight lines, and then I did one zigzag stitch for a little bit of texture and just interest on on the patterns. So I'm leaving this in because I want to show that not everything goes the way that you want it to. I had bought these Vicki Boutin crayons and these stickers on clearance, and I wasn't sure. I liked seeing what everybody else did with them, but I wasn't sure how well I would be able to work with them on a page. So I used a sticker that I didn't think I would be apt to use. And I just scribbled some of the crayon on the plastic, added a little bit of water, and I just felt like the wash on the sticker was not going to work well with the clean lines of the page. Now, some people can seamlessly blend together clean lines and watercolor. I just am not. Either my page has watercolor and is maybe a little bit on the messier side for me, or it's very clean cut. So I decided that I wanted to see if I could use my Copic markers and use one of these stickers and just add some color to it and keep it, minimal and clean lines. Well, I'm gonna leave all of it in, but it doesn't work. I cannot keep it in the lines. The lines are pretty thin on this. It's not meant to be used with a Copic marker. If it's a watercolor sticker meant to use watercolors or gelatos or things like that, then there's your hint. That's what you need to use. But you don't know unless you try. And so I did try, and I kept on going because, sometimes you can salvage things, and sometimes things look better when they're done than when they're, halfway done. But it didn't work well. So this layout was a little bit more difficult for me because I'm not using a kit and because I'm pulling things out of my stash. I will say, for me, using a kit or using a collection is such a time saver because I don't often feel the need to pull a lot of things from my stash when I'm using a kit. I may pull one or two things. Maybe I'm pulling thickers, or maybe I'm pulling sequins or enamel dots, or maybe I'm pulling some puffy stickers. I'm not pulling out everything. And for me, when I have to go through my stash, not only pull out the papers that I'm using, but the embellishments and then the thickers, it definitely takes more time than I want to do. So it's one of those things that I know that I create better, quicker, and I'm happier when I am doing something with a kit. Now, one way to get around that would be to make my own kits, which I have done, and I have enjoyed doing that. So I might do that again just to help bust some of my stash. So things that I have pulled out, these beautiful thickers, I love them. They are black and they have a little bit of a glitter appearance. I thought that they were perfect. The glitter that it has in it, well, the glitter-like appearance is silver, so it helps to pull in the silver thread that I have stitched with. And it just, it adds a little bit of glitz to the night part of it. And I'm pulling out my Freckled Fawn black and white kit. I love this kit. Strictly because it is perfect to use with a page like this, or it's perfect to use with a very colorful page where you're trying to use a bold, or bring in like the black or bring in a white for the contrast. So I am going to switch out that camera. I do switch out the camera a couple of times until I can finally get the one that I want. I'm going to also pull out one of the chipboard words. I love these phrases. They are perfect. They're a little bit different. The one that I'm going to use says time to party. So I am going to journal on this layout, but you will not see the journaling. I'm going to put it underneath the time to party chipboard. I just wanted to include the name of his friend that he's with because these two were frequently together, and you really can't see the friend very well, so nobody would really know him, but I don't want to put any identifying information on somebody that's not my child. So I'm just here. I finally figured out which puffy sticker I want to use. It's amazing. All of them worked. They would have all looked good. It was just, for me, sometimes that's the fun part, is just figuring out exactly the perfect one, or the one that I think works best. So I did cut this silver Heidi Swapp frame that has been in my stash for a very long time. I cut it in half and I put it under the picture to the left, and I'm going to pop that up a little bit with some foam, and then I'm just going to tuck the other picture down underneath it. I wanted to try to use the second part of the frame but was unsuccessful. It's all right. I'd rather use half a frame than leave the whole frame in my stash. So the other things that I do pull out, I pull out the silver freckled fawn stars, and I do get those on my page. That flare button is from A Flare for Buttons, and I pull out some blue sequins from a Spiegel Mom Scraps. And the last thing, there was one thing that I wanted to say. Oh, real quick. For me, when I'm doing a theme page, I don't necessarily like doing theme pages because I really have a hard time using themed products, but I find that if I just use one or two themed products, like I'm using the theme flare and one strip of pattern paper, that it's much easier for me to do a page like that using minimal products than having a bunch of things, having the theme, like adding more music notes as embellishments or things like that. So if you are like me and struggle with it, try using just one or two items and see if that works for you. That's it for me. I have some close-ups at the end. Be sure and check out the Stuck Sketches blog to see what the other designers created. Thanks so much. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.